Buying a soft story retrofit apartment rental and adding an accessory dwelling unit. This is Home Guru Lab. I'm David Hartman. What is a soft story retrofit and why should you care, you ask? Great question. Problem is, you're in the wrong video. At the end of this video, I share a link to our other video where we talk about a soft story building and what the soft story retrofit is. The should you care part we address here in this video. Screw it. Here we go. I got you covered. You imagine an apartment building that's made like a box, and that box is 2, 3, 4 stories tall, but it's on really skinny legs. Skinny legs. Not very pretty. And about those skinny legs, they were really good for holding up the top floors, but not so good when an earthquake came. Actually, they were quite horrible when an earthquake came. In an earthquake, those skinny legs would buckle, and the top floors would fall on the bottom floors, crushing a lot of stuff. So, why is that important? That's important because the state of California requires all of those skinny legs to be made stronger, and the clock is ticking. So you're an investor and you want to buy one of these soft story buildings. You're looking high, you're looking low. You come up with a few apartment buildings to buy. Whoever's advising you tells you, hey, the ones you've picked, they're great, but they need this soft story retrofit. Well, you can add an accessory dwelling unit to those, maybe more than one. Here's what you need to look for, because not all soft story buildings are created equal. Tuck under parking spaces can be turned into accessory dwelling units. Yeah, and when you build that out in the plans, you could turn that area into an accessory dwelling unit, and it satisfies the California's requirement to retrofit the building for earthquakes. Yeah, so if you have 2 sides, or 3, or 4, you may have the ability to create more accessory dwelling units in these tuck under places. The biggest thing to look for about the soft story retrofit conversion into an accessory dwelling unit is this. How high is that tuck under parking? Preferably find a tuck under parking that has 7.5 feet to over 8 feet in height for the tuck under parking location. Those are going to be less expensive to convert into an accessory dwelling unit. The other big factor is there a lot of plumbing that comes down from the ceiling? Well, there may be. It may not be super expensive if there's a few pipes, but if all the pipes are hanging down into the parking area, those are going to either need to be relocated up into the ceiling, or some way the accessory dwelling unit is going to need to reroute those pipes so that they don't actually interfere with the head height, the ceiling height that is, of the accessory dwelling unit that goes in there. If the skinny legs are not just along the outside edge, but are actually in the center, splitting up the parking, those poles are also going to need to be relocated so that the living area can be a natural flowing room and you don't have a pole right in the middle. Those are the 3 main components. How tall is that tuck under parking? Do you have poles or other structural beams that will need to be relocated? And are there any piping that comes down that needs to be brought up? So if you're comparing one building that doesn't have these problems to another building that's fairly comparable that does, the building without those will be a less expensive accessory dwelling unit and soft story retrofit build. Let me tell you a secret. Come here. The secret is, with several of these soft story retrofit buildings that have not been retrofitted, most people don't know they can add an accessory dwelling unit to the tuck under parking. And these buildings are selling at a discount compared to their sibling buildings that don't need the retrofit. It's a great time to be a buyer in Southern California. Know these little ins and outs of the soft story retrofit and the accessory dwelling unit. So If you're looking to buy one of these soft story buildings, want some input or advice, maybe invest along with me, don't hesitate to click the link below and reach out. If you're looking for that video about what is a soft story retrofit building and the retrofit process, click the link below. If you like what I've shared here, click the like button, maybe drop a few comments, even subscribe. That way you'll always be up to date on the most current content that I've posted and put together just for you. This is Home Guru Lab. I'm David Hartman.